Talk about a crusher. Yes! Oh!
Are you kidding me?
And gone!
Welcome back to the Schoolyard Sports podcast. I'm the host of this podcast, Lane Frank. We're now on episode 235. There's 235 episodes through, and I got an action-packed episode planned for you. The NBA season is here. The World Series is set between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. We got a lot going on in the NFL. And if you're wondering what's next for me right here, it is the Paul Bunyan Trophy in college football. The winner of Michigan versus Michigan State gets to put their team's pants colors on Paul Bunyan and carry him throughout the rest of the year. We got that game this week. We got a lot more coming up on episode 235. So let's hop into it. Let's start off episode 235, how we always do, with our headlines in the NBA. We are back. We are so back in the NBA season. I can't wait. Now, the last few NBA regular seasons have been boring, to say the least, but hopefully we don't get that this year. We've got a lot of new exciting things in the NBA. We have a new champion in the Oklahoma City Thunder. We have players returning like Zion Williamson. We have LeBron James, who won't be playing much this season. We got a lot going on in the NBA. We got new streaming services. We got international games this year. I can't wait for it, and I'm excited for the 2025-2026 NBA season, and I can't wait to give you my predictions on it later on in the episode. Now, in the NFL, we had a tumultuous Week 7. We got things rolling on Thursday Night Football. The Cincinnati Bengals had a tough playoff-like game win against Pittsburgh Steelers, the first win of the Joe Flacco era over Aaron Rodgers. Now, it looked like vintage Aaron for a little bit in that game. Pat Freiermuth, huge touchdown at the end of that game, but Cincinnati drove down, and Evan McPherson drilled a long field goal to get them that win and started the week strong in Week 7 of the NFL season. Los Angeles Rams kicked us off in London, or international, against Jacksonville Jaguars, where Travis Hunter played a decent game for the Jaguars, but was outshined by Davante Adams, who basically cooked him on offense, being the better receiver, and also destroying him when he had to cover him in that game. Davante Adams was their wide receiver one, with Puka Nacua out, getting me some fantasy points, 3 touchdowns for Davante Adams, and Matthew Stafford, the Rams, having their best season since their Super Bowl run, but I don't want to jinx it just yet. The Miami Dolphins are a mess right now. I think a lot of people can realize that, and I think a lot of people can put the blame on Tua Tagovailoa. I actually like to put the blame on Mike McDaniel. I like Tua as a quarterback. Tua obviously isn't worth this contract. Tua probably shouldn't be starting every game in the NFL, but Mike McDaniel doesn't take any responsibility, ever. So I think it's time for him to own up some of these mistakes and not just blame it on Tua. I get what he's saying when he's like, well, if you're costing the team that much, I had no choice but to assess another player. But Mike McDaniel just isn't built to lead an NFL team anymore, in my opinion, and he shouldn't. Miami Dolphins, I am out completely on Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Miami Dolphins right now. A guy I'm completely in on is Mike Vrabel for the New England Patriots, because Drake May is looking like a future Tom Brady. Great game on Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. Love to see it. Patriots rolling. Cam Ward and the Titans struggling still. Kansas City Chiefs got a great win on Sunday, 31-0 over the Las Vegas Raiders. They're 4-3 in the year, but still third in their division. Dallas Cowboys, nice win on Sunday, getting it over Washington Commanders, moving up in the rankings a little bit, moving up in the standings. For the Cowboys, it's interesting because this offense is elite under Brian Schottenheimer. There's no evading that. They are elite under Brian Schottenheimer, this offense. But the defense can't get anything going. Really can't. I should ask Jason Garrett, he was on my flight the other day, what the Cowboys need to do on defense. He probably wouldn't have a great answer because they were never good under him either for defense. But Brian Schottenheimer and the Cowboys get a nice win over the Commanders on Sunday. Like to see it. Eagles, great win on Sunday over the Minnesota Vikings, 28-22. Justin Jefferson just can't get things going with the Minnesota Vikings because they don't have a quarterback to throw them the ball. And it's tough for Vikings fans because you had Sam Darnold last year. You had Daniel Jones last year. Both those guys are great quarterbacks right now. You're stuck with J.J. McCarthy, who has one career NFL win, and Carson Wentz, who we all know can't do anything anymore in the NFL. So I feel bad for all Vikings fans out there. But for the Eagles, nice bounce-back win after losing on Thursday to the Giants 2 weeks ago. Great win for the Eagles on Sunday over the Minnesota Vikings. New York Jets are worse than abysmal. They're just trash. They're straight-out garbage. It's not Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn's fine. They're 0-7. It's all because Justin Fields. This makes me happy because I've been covering Fields since his senior year at Ohio State. I'm Unk on this show at this point. I've been doing this show for a long time. I could have told you then. I could have told you now. Justin Fields would not be an elite NFL quarterback. And boy, he's not even a good one. He's not even a decent one. They're 0-7 on the year. This is the nail in the coffin of what will be a journeyman career for Justin Fields. The New York Giants had a great game on Sunday, but, something doesn't sit right as a Giants fan because it was 19-0 in the fourth quarter, and they lost 33-32. They gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. I can't even do that on Madden. What was going on Sunday with the Giants? Defense is great for 3 quarters. They gave up in the fourth. The game plan wasn't there. Jackson Dart's great. Nothing wrong with him. That pick happens. He's a rookie. You shouldn't be in that situation to begin with. It's abysmal for the Giants because there's so many games this year they could have won. The Dallas game, they could have won. The New Orleans game, they're up 14-0. This game, that's 3 wins more. That's 3 less losses. Instead of being 2-5, you're 5-2, and you're in a good spot to make the playoffs in year 1 under Jackson Dart, and he's this year's Rookie of the Year. But no, we don't get that. Indianapolis Colts, I touched on them a little bit when I talked about Daniel Jones, but they're just great. They're just rolling through everybody. They beat on the Chargers 28-14. I like the way Jonathan Taylor is playing. I think Daniel Jones is commanding the game at an all-time high. He is their Peyton Manning and Drew Luck. Daniel Jones is on fire right now for Indianapolis. The Green Bay Packers got a good one on Sunday over the Arizona Cardinals. And I had a Packers fan tell me this week, that Jordan Love's fine. He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's a top 10, top 15 quarterback in the NFL. But he'll never be Favre. It'll never be Aaron Rodgers. And they'll never win a Super Bowl under Jordan Love. Something to think about right there with Jordan Love. I don't know if I agree with it yet, but I do agree that he probably won't be up to the Favre, Aaron Rodgers level in his career. San Francisco 49ers just keep on winning, everybody. After a loss last week to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mac Jones gets another win this week. Mac Jones is just playing great football. I don't know what they do when Brock Purdy comes back because Brock Purdy didn't win games last year. Mac Jones is winning games right now, so it'll be an interesting decision to see what they do with Mac Jones at quarterback. Detroit Lions got a nice win on Monday Night Football. Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown ending my great fantasy week where I put up 136 points, but ended up losing to my dad because of Jahmyr Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Dan Campbell, great coach, biting off kneecaps and winning games in the NFL. And the Seattle Seahawks also won on Monday Night Football against the Houston Texans. What do you think of these 2 Monday Night Football games a week type of style thing? I kind of enjoy it on Monday night to watch 2 games. What do you think of it? Last one we're going to get for the season. That's about it for Schoolyard Sports. Headlines, Game Day, coming up next. Now, Schoolyard Sports NFL Game Day. Top 3 best games of the week in the NFL. Starting off with the Vikings versus the Chargers. No J.J. McCarthy. Chargers, they desperately need a win. They get back on track. L.A. over the Vikings. Browns versus the Patriots. Let's go with the Patriots in this one. Dylan Gabriel, 31 points last week, but Drake May playing great football. Love to see it. Patriots over the Browns. Giants versus the Eagles. Giants beat them badly 2 weeks ago, but that was a fluke. And I think the Eagles send the Giants to 2-6 on the season. Bills versus the Panthers. Bills coming off a bye week. I think they're still one of the best teams in football. Let's go with the Bills over the Panthers. No Bryce Young in this one for Carolina. Bears versus the Ravens. Bears are 4-2. Ravens are 1-5 on the year. 1-5. A team that I thought could be a Super Bowl contender is 1-5. And they go to 1-6. Caleb Williams gets the win over maybe Lamar Jackson if he plays in this one. John Harbaugh and the Ravens. 49ers versus the Texans. Let's go with the 49ers in this one. Texans are reeling. I like Mac Jones. I think he hopefully plays in this one over Brock Purdy. I don't even know if Purdy's healthy yet. So let's go with the 49ers over the Texans. Cowboys versus the Broncos. Broncos, great comeback last week, but you can't expect to come back like that again. I think this Cowboys offense is going to be relentless against this Broncos defense, and they get the win. Let's go with a big win. 45-17 over Denver. Packers versus the Steelers. Talked a little bit about the Packers and Steelers in the headlines. I thought a little bit about Jordan Love and how he's played recently and how he isn't going to be Aaron Rodgers. But he doesn't have to be to win this game. I think the Packers get the win here. Steelers, that defense just did not show up last week, and I don't think they do this week. Packers over the Steelers. Commanders versus the Chiefs to round out Monday Night Football. Chiefs, second time on Monday Night Football this year. Probably get a little sick of it at this point. Let's go with the Chiefs over the Commanders. Jane Daniels is RG3 2.0. I hate to say it. You don't want to say it, but he's getting injured a lot this year. And that's tough to see. Marcus Mariota should just start this game. he should start the next couple of games until Jaden Daniels is 100% healthy. Not until he's 85%, 95%, 99%, 100% healthy. Let's go with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs over the injured Commanders in this one to round out Schoolyard Sports NFL Game Day. The Fall Classic has arrived, the World Series. I'm here to give you my top 5 hot takes for this Blue Jays versus Dodgers World Series. Starting out with number 5, the Blue Jays win Game 1 in Toronto and send the country into a frenzy. It's America's team, yet they're from Toronto because nobody outside the people in LA want the Dodgers to win this series. Blue Jays get Game 1 of the series in Toronto. Number 4, a pitcher wins MVP of this World Series. It could either be Kevin Gausman, Trey Savage, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Ohtani, Yamamoto, but I think a pitcher will win this World Series. They'll get 2 wins off 2 big starts, and they'll win this World Series. Number 3, MVP. Number 3, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits 5 home runs and ties the record. I think some other guys who have done it are his teammate George Springer back in 2017, Chase Utley when he was with the White Sox. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits 5 home runs in this World Series. Could make a case for MVP, win or lose. Vlad gets 5 home runs in this World Series. Number 2, this series goes 7 games. I think if Toronto wins Game 1 and they still won LA, this one's going 7 games because they're going to get one more in there. I think Toronto and LA go 7 games in this series. But the winner of this series, the winner of the Fall Classic 2025 World Series, will be the Los Angeles Dodgers once again, everybody. I picked the Dodgers at the beginning of the year, and I'm picking them again. It's going to happen again next year. In 2027, we're not going to have an MLB season. We'll have a lockout to make sure the Dodgers can't do what they keep on doing and win another World Series. But expect this year to win a World Series. Expect next year to win a World Series for the Dodgers. It's going to keep on coming until a change comes to the MLB. But LA remains kings once again of the baseball world. Dodgers win the 2025 World Series. That's about for my top 5 this week. Top 5 hot takes. And for that World Series MVP, let's roll with Blake Snell as World Series MVP and a Dodgers 7-game World Series win. Now, did you know, this week's Did You Know, it's a great one. Did you know the Milwaukee Brewers in the NLCS against the Los Angeles Dodgers batted .118 as a team? That is the lowest average a team has had in any series that has at least 3 games in MLB history. Didn't know that? Leave that in the comments. That's about for Did You Know this week. The NBA season is here. The 2025-2026 NBA season. We're ready for it on Schoolyard Sports, and I'm ready to give you some of my top predictions in the NBA this year, my awards, and also some fun ones to go with it, some fun predictions in there. So let's start off with some of those fun predictions, and then get into award season and championship season in the NBA. But preseason, I'm going to make a call that the Orlando Magic win 60 games in the depleted Eastern Conference. Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero take that next step in Eastern Conference that is open for the taking right now. Next one. Timberwolves regress, and Anthony Edwards grows extremely frustrated with the Timberwolves and their brass. I'm not saying he wants out, but I'm saying I don't think they get better. I don't think they got better over the offseason. I don't think they get better this season. Now, it's tough to get better after you became the 3rd best team in the NBA last year. That's how you finished, or 3rd or 4th, losing in the semifinals. But I just don't see the way this team gets any better this year. Rudy Gobert gets worse. Julius Randle can't go up inside with Anthony Edwards. I don't see his team getting any better this season. I think they regress, and I think Anthony Edwards says maybe Minnesota isn't the sunniest place to be after all. Next one. Zion Williamson has his best season yet and channels his inner Charles Barkley. Instead of trying to be the next Zion Williamson, he tries to take after another old player, like a Charles Barkley, where he just gets rebounds, just gets points, doesn't try to do everything on a court because he can't do that. The last 10 games that Zion Williamson played last season were spectacular. The best 10 games of his career, you could say. Now, they were being cautious. Willie Green was like, all right, you're looking a little too good, Zion. Let's arrest you. We're out of playoff race. You might be a little bit banged up still. Let's get ready for next season. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're ready for this season in the NBA. Zion Williamson, ready to get after it. I think he has his best season yet. In New Orleans, they might just make the playoffs. Next one, and a big one. Nikola Jokic gets traded midseason. I think this Nuggets squad just doesn't perform well. They perform like how the Mavericks did when they traded Luka. It's a Luka Doncic type of trade. In today's NBA, you cannot keep on to all your superstars to where they have to say, we won our championship. We can't keep all these guys. We just gave Christian Brown a huge extension. Jamal Murray has a big contract. We got rid of Michael Porter Jr. We're going to get rid of Nikola Jokic next. And they're going to start a rebuild. Maybe it's AJ DeBance's season. Maybe it's Cameron Boozer's season. Maybe it's the next year you go after somebody. But I don't think the Nuggets can keep on Nikola Jokic much longer. And I think we see a seismic trade with Nikola Jokic getting traded midseason this year. Next one, and then we'll get into the awards. LeBron only plays 40 to 50 games this year, but gears up for his farewell tour next season where he tries to play all 82. I think LeBron is being careful about his body. I think LeBron doesn't want to push his limit anymore. Father Time is catching up to him, but he doesn't play much this season. The Lakers might even tank the season or see how it goes with Luka Doncic. But the next year, that's LeBron's farewell year, and he goes out and makes sure he's there for the crowd every single night that wants to see him. So LeBron James doesn't play much this year, 40 to 50 games, and he's already hurt right now, but next year will be his farewell tour. Now, award season in the NBA. Let's start out with the baby award, Rookie of the Year. I go Rookie of the Year, Cooper Flagg. The reason why it's going to be Cooper Flagg is because Cooper Flagg was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. What makes me think he's not going to be the best rookie this year? He's also on the best team of any rookie that was drafted inside the lottery. Cooper Flagg is going to have a great rookie season. Rookie of the Year, Cooper Flagg. Defensive Player of the Year. Now, Defensive Player of the Year is going to be Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama was running with Defensive Player of the Year even before his injury last season, his bad injury, which was kind of, a serious just health issue in general. But Victor Wembanyama was having a historical season, blocks-wise, steal-wise, and I think he wins Defensive Player of the Year. I also think Victor Wembanyama takes that next step as a player and wins MVP. Victor Wembanyama wins MVP. He's that alien. We've been waiting for Victor Wembanyama because we've said he's so good. He's great. He's great. He's great. Now he's going to take that next step. It's only year 3 of the experiment, but he's that ready. Victor Wembanyama in year 3 wins MVP, everybody. Victor for MVP, and the Spurs go back to the top. Mitch Johnson, first-time head coach. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Victor Wembanyama wins MVP. Who's going to win Most Improved Player? So it might be a little controversial because this guy's already pretty good, but it's going to be Chet Holmgren. Going into year 3, Chet Holmgren averaged 15 points a game last year. He wasn't an all-star, but I think this year Chet Holmgren just steps up, becomes that 20 to 25-point player a night, gets those 15 boards a night, gets those blocks, is in that Defensive Player of the Year race, plays like a Rudy Gobert, plays like a great center in the NBA. I think Chet Holmgren makes that next step to become an all-NBA player, whether it's all-NBA third team, second team, first team. Chet Holmgren is going to take that next step and be Most Improved Player, because you can still be Most Improved even if you're already good, everybody. So Chet for Most Improved. Now, hopping into who's going to make the NBA Finals. I think it's pretty easy to say who's going to win the West. It's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think the Nuggets are out of it. I don't think the Warriors have a good enough squad. I think the Rockets are still just not there yet with Kevin Durant on that squad. I think they might finish second in the West. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are the best team in that Western Conference. The East, it gets tricky. Detroit Pistons are a great squad. They have Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Azor Thompson. They made the playoffs last year. They almost won a playoff series. I have the Orlando Magic winning 60 games. I don't want to count out the Boston Celtics because they still have a great coach. They still have Jaylen Brown, the highest paid player in NBA history at one point in his career. I don't want to count them out either. I don't want to count the Cleveland Cavaliers, the 1 seed. I don't want to count out Indiana Pacers, who were a great team last year, even without Tyrese Halliburton. But I am. I'm going to count all these guys out because the New York Knicks are my team in the NBA. My team. And this is the only time in my life that I've seen the Knicks have an opportunity preseason to make the NBA Finals. And I got to jump at that opportunity. I don't know if I'll ever get this chance again to make a prediction this bold about the New York Knicks, so I'm going to take it right here. The New York Knicks make the NBA Finals where they get swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they win the championship, the Thunder. But at least I can say the Knicks made the championship, the Finals. That's about it for my NBA rundown, the hot takes for this season in the NBA. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Now, College Football Showcase Week 9. We've had all kinds of chaos in college football. We've had a team like Florida State become great after Week 1 and then become terrible the rest of the year. We've had Florida fire their head coach. We've had Penn State fire their head coach. We've had a lot go on in this college football season. That's why my top 25 has shaken so much. We're doing some moving and shaking in week 9 with this top 25. You know how we roll. I gave you my top 25 teams, and then I gave you my 6 hot takes of the week in week 9. Starting out with number 1, Ohio State. 2, Indiana. 3, Alabama. 4, Oregon. 5, Texas A&M. 6, Miami. 7, Georgia. 8, Ole Miss. 9, Oklahoma. 10, Notre Dame. 11, Georgia Tech. 12, Mizzou. 13, Texas Tech. 14, BYU. 15, Vanderbilt. 16, Virginia. 17, Tennessee. 18, Texas. 19, Illinois. 20, USC. 21, USF. 22, Michigan. 23, Tulane. 24, LSU. 25, Arizona State. Now, week 9, we got some madness in college football with the hot takes. Starting out with, let's bring my good old friend Paul Bunyan up here for Michigan versus Michigan State. I'm going to go with my Wolverines taking down the Spartans and Bryce Underwood playing solid football in this one. Next one, USF versus Memphis, battle of the American schools. 6-1 USF, 6-1 Memphis. USF stays perfect in conference and they get the win. Alex Golish, he's fighting for one of those Florida jobs, man. Florida or Florida State, USF head coach. Missouri versus Vanderbilt. Another coach on audition this week, Elijah Drinkwitz. He maybe wants the Penn State job, the Florida job, Georgia Tech job if it comes open, Virginia Tech job. They have one loss. So does Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's a good football team this year, obviously. Great win against LSU last week. At home, I think Vanderbilt gets the loss, though. I think Missouri pulls off the upset. Missouri over Vanderbilt. Mississippi State over Texas in a huge upset. Now, you don't have to score much when you play Texas. Blake Shapen, Mississippi State quarterback, all he needs is 20 points here. Playing in Starkville. I think Starkville's a little bit tougher place to play now. They beat Arizona State at home this year. Archer Manning rattled, and this ends really his campaign as a Texas quarterback in his junior year to try and make the college ball playoff. Blake Shapen puts on an offensive clinic, only putting up 20 points. That's all you need to beat Texas with this terrible offense of theirs. Mississippi State over Texas. Texas A&M versus LSU. Now, when I look at LSU, they've had a lot of games this year, and they've had 2 losses on the season. Those 2 losses have been their only tests of the season. So their 2 tests, they've failed. They failed on the road against Ole Miss, and they failed on the road against Vanderbilt. They beat Clemson by 3, which looks like a terrible win now, because you should have beat them by like 30. That's what Syracuse did to Clemson on the road. So for LSU, there's no reason to pick them in this game. There really isn't. But I'm going to pick them anyways, because Mike Elko and Texas A&M have never beat LSU on the road. And what's got me thinking is that Mike Elko won't be the man to do it this year for Texas A&M. I'm sorry, Marcel Reed, but Harold Perkins Jr. has other plans. He'll have his best game since his freshman year against Arkansas, and they'll win this game. LSU over Texas A&M, huge upset in the SEC to stay alive in the playoff race. Next one, BYU stays perfect on the year with a win over Iowa State. And the last one, Oklahoma versus Ole Miss, the game of the week. I'm going to go with the Sooners in this one. I think Trinidad Chambliss played great in the first half and in the first play of the second half against Georgia. And we saw him collapse after that. Like we saw him collapse in the Washington State game and play a Division II type of football. I think this Oklahoma defense can get any quarterback rattled. They had Arch rattled. The only reason Texas won that game was because of their defense and special teams. John Mateer is healthy. They're coming off a bye week, and Brent Venables stays alive in that playoff race, that SEC race. And Oklahoma gets the win and moves on with only 1 loss in the year. Huge win over Ole Miss, sending them to 2 losses on the year. The start of the Lane Kiffin exit from Ole Miss is this week in Norman. That's about it for my College Ball Showcase hot takes. Question of the day coming up next. Now, the best for last question of the day. This week's question of the day is, how will the new streaming in the NBA be this season? Are you a fan of it with NBC, Amazon? We got a lot of new stuff in the NBA this year. How excited are you to see it? And are you going to be a fan of it? Leave your answer in the comments. That's about for question of the day this week. That's about for Schoolyard Sports with Lane Frank, episode 235. It was a fun one. Break it down the World Series, break it down a little bit of college football, NBA season here. So it was a fun one. And we'll do it again next week on episode 236. Stay tuned. Still more to come next week for the best sports content in the world.